Thank you so much for joining us today. As a team full of former educators, we know firsthand just how busy this back to school season can be. I'm Maya, Figma for Education's program manager and a former 11th grade English teacher. Before I pass the mic over to David for a jam-packed FigJam session, I want to make sure you all know how to bring our free tools to your classrooms. First, as an educator, you can access your free license by going to figma.com and logging in with Google. No email or password to remember there. The link to verify your education status is pinned to this chat. That's to guarantee you get your free license. When it's time to bring your students in, we want to work with your IT or instructional leaders at your schools to turn their licenses on in Google. You can email education@figma.com or visit figma.com/Chromebooks to get that quick process started. We promise to take it off your plate from there. Now on to the main feature of the day. David, are you ready to take it away?
I'm ready to take it away. So excited. Thank you so much, Maya. Well, before I introduce myself, I'm going to give you a little secret about me. I love to talk. So I'm going to set as a timer here because I could go ahead and talk for the whole live long day. We're going to put a 30-minute timer. This timer is actually directly in our FigJam, and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so my name is David. I've been a teacher for the last 10 years, teaching grade levels 3 through 8. That is not a typo. Yes, I taught 6 grade levels in 10 years, got moved around a lot. I am now currently an education learning specialist here at Figma and could not be more excited. Just absolutely loving what I get to do here and just spread that magic of my former classrooms to more students across our nation and globe. Fun fact about me is that I love backgammon and ice cream. Combining those two, nothing better. And here's a cute little picture of my former students. I most recently, last year, I taught middle school, and for 3 years prior, taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I taught social studies and English, and most recently taught precision manufacturing and design engineering. So let's jump on into our agenda for today. Our objective is to learn about FigJam's features and functions for classroom use. I really want to set you up for success in bringing this amazing tool to your students. Some agenda items we have for today is I'm going to be introducing FigJam to you, a little bit of an overview. Then we're going to jump into some classroom examples that you're all going to be excited to see and could very quickly apply. We're then going to share out ideas. Yes, we want this to be interactive. We're going to invite you into the file, share out your ideas on how you could use this. And we're also going to have a little Q&A as well as some giveaways. Who doesn't love a little bit of swag? Also, a few notes. You probably heard the wonderful robotic voice in the beginning. This is recorded. So if there's anything that I go over that was a nugget you want to see again, you can definitely go back and watch that. Now, enough about me. We would love to hear a little bit more about you in the chat. If you could go ahead and write in the chat, what are you teaching next year? Or what is your role next year? We'd love to see some of those responses. What do we have? Do we have any 3rd grade teachers? Some of my, former wonderful grade level partners? Do we got folks in the middle schools, the high schools? Go ahead and drop in the chat what you're teaching next year. We'd love to see. Nice. Ooh, K-12 technology coach. Amazing. Algebra. Fantastic. Chemistry and engineering. Another engineering homie. 8th grade history. I got moved from 8th grade history right before I could teach it and got moved to 7th grade, which is wonderful. Love world history. All right. We got pre-K, K-12, elementary tech coaches in the house. This is amazing. Higher education, computer science. Awesome. Well, while those are populating in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little overview of what FigJam is. So FigJam is one of the most delightful online whiteboards. I might be a little biased because I work here at Figma, but I'm also extremely biased because I saw this tool work so well for my students. So a couple things. FigJam is fantastic for collaboration, bringing visibility into whole class learning, and making abstract concepts a little bit more concrete through visual storytelling and display. So today we're going to get into some of the features that make FigJam and make this tool so powerful and amazing for the classroom. Also, you can find this template. If you go on over, this should be dropped in the chat. This template, you can follow along and get your own copy. So you can see that under the live stream tab. You can get a copy for yourself, make a copy, and you can follow along, kind of popping between the Zoom screen as well as that template and play around in the file at your own pace. But one thing I'd like for you to know is how to move around in a FigJam file. This is pretty simple. You're going to take your 2 fingers on the trackpad to pan around, so kind of scrolling left and right. You're going to be moving left and right with those two fingers. You're going to pinch to go ahead and zoom in, and you're going to go ahead and pull to zoom out. Pretty simple as far as navigation goes. And a couple other things I definitely want you to know is how to access some of these incredible goodies I'm about to show you. So simple, it's down here. It's in our FigJam doc. You're going to be having the navigation tool. You have the hand tool, so you can grab that hand tool, move left and right. You have the marker tool and a plethora of colors. Who doesn't love a good old option of colors here? We have the shapes tool. We have sticky notes. Oh, this is going to be just an awesome session. I'm already excited already. We have the more section. This is kind of like Mary Poppins' magical purse. There are so many goodies in here, like stickers, templates, widgets, plugins, and so much more. We have simple things like text, adding in arrows, stamps, sections, and tables. Quick little overview of that. Feel free to go ahead and look at this image for your reference when you're in the file on your own. Now, I'd love to go ahead and talk about some things and share how teachers are using FigJam and finding it as massively successful in their classrooms. First, independent work. FigJam can be used for individual student use as it allows teachers to assign personalized practice sets tailored to each student's learning needs and pace. In this example right here, this is a screenshot. You'll see a student practicing some vocabulary cards. They're writing an original sentence down in here. They're adding in some voice recordings, and they're able to track their progress all in one space. This really brings the individual learning experience to life. Group work, another phenomenal way to really utilize FigJam's collaborative features. You can do real-time collaboration. It allows students to really work together in a true collaborative space. There is the sense that it really does foster teamwork and enhances their problem-solving skills. There's just something magical about multiple cursors flying around the screen at once that I think is just really, really fun. Now, this is where I feel like in the last 2 years of using FigJam in my class, I saw it as highly successful and massively amazing. This is doing whole class instruction. I would put all of my student groups, had them in table groups, like I'm sure a lot of you do, and I would put them into activities where they could truly learn from one another. In this one, you can probably see group 1 is doing a phenomenal job. Group 2, I don't know, maybe they're talking to each other, maybe they're a little distracted, but in an instant like this, where I'm having students work and adding in stickies into the canvas, I would maybe walk on over to group 2, say, hey, what's up, folks? Go ahead and check out what group 1's doing on their section of the screen, and I'm going to come back in 3 minutes and see what your next action items are. So students really can truly learn from one another if you have that whole class setup, and I think it's just absolutely amazing. I saw that as one of my favorite features when using FigJam with middle schoolers. All right, now speaking of using FigJam, let's go ahead and demo and show you some amazing features here. So another thing too is that we know all of these applications we're showing are just a start. So I want to challenge y'all, if you could go ahead and in the chat today, if you could drop some ideas, like let's say if we show you sticky notes in a second, you have another application or ideas to how to use that, please throw that in the chat. We would love to hear from you, the true professionals of teaching and education, how you could see this being used in your classroom. So please go ahead and add that in as we progress. All right, so I'm going to hop on into a little bit of an example here. Let's just pretend that I just finished reading the sandwich swap with my class. Now, I want to hear from my students and learn and have them learn from one another. What are their preferred sandwiches? So I'm going to add in here, my preferred sandwich is a hot pastrami with the works on sourdough. Okay. To add a sticky, you just saw me clicking on it and typing it in. You can see a couple of my teammates in here adding their stickies as well. To add a sticky, just go ahead and grab it from the dock down here, plop it on the canvas, and you can type away. Now, another thing you can do is you can grab stamps. Now, I have prompted students to go ahead and add the +1 if they also love one of their teammates' sandwiches. Oh my goodness, chicken parmesan, love that. Or add a question mark if they need a little bit more convincing on this sandwich. Now, pesto, okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a little question on the pesto just because I'm more of a pasta guy. Haven't had too much pesto on a sandwich. Don't know if I want that to be, in my sandwich as well. Another thing that's really fun is the stamps. You can go ahead, Alex. Okay, let's go ahead and give Alex some love here. I can add emotes. Now, emotes are a great way for me to go ahead. Let's do that stamp again. Click on emotes here, and I can click on these and they just automatically pop up and show a reaction on the screen. You can't really read body language in a digital space. This kind of allows for things to be shown and displayed and really gives that immediate feedback in real time when students are working together. Awesome, 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 team. Love that. Let me go ahead and give one more +1 over here. The BLT, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to zoom on over here and show you an example of how this could be applied in the classroom. And again, this is my example that me and my team came up with that I used in the last few years, but please add some examples of how you could use this in the class. In this classroom example, FigJam stickies were added for students to contribute to showing their learning. So here's a little pros and cons set up in FigJam. Students use these stickies to jot down their initial thoughts on the topic, which again, should the school day start an hour later, highly debatable amongst my middle schoolers. And then they were able, as the discussion progressed, they were able to add some ideas and their thoughts to one another's thinking by adding those stamps. Again, please add in the chat, what are some ways that you could see sticky notes used in your classrooms in just a few days or a few weeks? This was one, oh my goodness, avoid the busy commutes. Love that one. Let's go ahead and just add a little +1 right there. Again, some very simple prompting. You have your question, you have your stamps, kind of engaging students to discuss further and really add that real-time collaboration. Amazing. Great. We're going to go ahead and look at another feature that I like to coin as one-tab learning. I cannot tell you how much instructional time I lost trying to get my students over the last few years to the resources and the websites I wanted them to get to. So the problem was I would package lessons with so many links, so many exterior links. And so we're going to look at a solution here of how, yes, and Lauren's like, oh my goodness, my students, they coined this the Curran 12 tab tango, where I would send them off to many different tabs. So we're going to look at here an example of how you could actually package your lessons all in one space. So when I would normally do my lessons, I would have a link in here. I'd sometimes make it look really nice by adding a cute little font. Students could click on that link, but I want this to look a little bit different. It's hard to access, especially if I have dozens of those on my screen. It's really tricky for students to find what it is they're supposed to get to. So let's say I'm trying to just add this link of this article here. I can go ahead and copy that link and directly click on the canvas and hit Control V. When I do that, it brings in a nice card with some visual elements so that students can see what is actually behind this link, what are they going to, and it really helps them stay organized. So this entire lesson here, which the guiding question is, which animal makes the better pet, has a couple of sources. You have your sources to your articles, and you also have some YouTube videos. Now, this is absolutely magical. When I first saw this, I used it so much, and my students loved it. I would always send them to YouTube videos, especially when I was teaching design, because they had to watch the actual real professionals of engineering guide them through some lessons. I can also click on this little expand tool and it plays a little bit larger. I can shrink that and there we go. You can even play 2 videos at once. So if you have students who like to watch maybe one video with their left eye, one video with their right eye, they can do that. Bada boom, bada bing, it's for them. So one-tab learning really does make things fun and allows for them, I know we got some fun excitement in here, allows for them to stay focused. Another thing you might see is if I wanted to add a survey, I would normally send students to another link. However, I don't want that. I want students to actually, inside of my file, I'm going to look for a widget called poll, and I want them to be seeing and be working with me inside of the file. And it looks like my polls aren't loading. If someone else wants to, maybe my team throw a poll in there while I'm, oh, there we go. Awesome. Got the poll. You can see me pop it on in. And now they don't have to go to another link. I can type in what makes the better pet? Big old question mark here. And let's add in, this is like the age-old debate, cats versus dogs. There's some other features. If you want to make it anonymous voting, that's fine. You can see that Lauren's adding in some different features, making that nice and visual. I can start the poll here and boom, we got ourselves a poll. Let's go ahead and folks in the file, go ahead and add your thoughts. Which animal makes the better pet? Looks like we got 2 votes for dogs. Cats, don't know if they get, oh, nice. We got some love for cats there. Amazing. So as you can see here, we don't have to send students to another file. They don't have to see their answer just represented in a massive pie chart. They can see what they're thinking and what their peers are thinking directly in the file. I can click here and say, okay, they're my cat people and where are my homies with the dogs. Wonderful. Okay. And then maybe I split them out into groups. Just really does. Oh, we got some people switching over to dogs. It really does make learning visual, and this lesson is packaged all in one space. Okay. Moving on to another example of how you could use this for one-tab learning. Here's another lesson idea. And please, again, this is just our idea. Add in the chat, be active in the chat. How else could you make one-tab learning possible in your classrooms next week? Here's another idea. So I might use this lesson to hook and activate questioning and see what my students' prior knowledge is of the civil rights movement. I would provide 2 different resources. Maybe I have students that want to watch a video, maybe some students want to read an article, and I'd have those 2 links in there for them. I would then give students the option to read one or the other. Again, we really want to promote student choice here. and then provide a space over here on the right where students can truly add in their thoughts and respond to one another. And the question again is, what role did Martin Luther King Jr. play in the civil rights movement? You have some multimedia, you have a quick little prompt, and you also see there are some little things popping up right here. These are comments. Comments are a great way to access comments. You can just go ahead and hit the C key on your keyboard, and you can access a comment, and you can type a comment in right here. I'm just going to say great job, y'all. As the teacher, I'm just going to say great job, group. Can't even spell right here. I'm just so excited. Missing the E. Okay, I can go ahead and leave a comment as the teacher. You also see some of my teammates, they're highlighting things. Access the highlighter tool, click on the pen or the marker, go over here, and maybe I want them to highlight some different words. Maybe they're trying to highlight key features or folks inside of that. You can change the highlighter. I actually have the highlighter width way too large. Just go ahead and bring that down a little bit. And there we go. So the highlighter tools are really awesome. The comments are really great. And yes, you saw that correctly. You can reply to comments and make threads. This is fantastic because what I found, my middle schoolers are automatically really good and fluent in this process because they comment on social media platforms such as TikTok, Twitter. Well, mostly us teachers are on Twitter, not my students, Snapchat. And this is a really great way for them and for me to really teach and fold in some digital literacy and citizenship. Again, great idea. Please add in the chat, be active, teachers. How could you use multimedia in your lessons using FigJam to really get your students engaged? Okay, speaking of engaged, visual learning. I greatly benefited from visuals as a student. I had still do, raging ADD, and making things visual, taking them from the abstract to the concrete is a huge win for me. So FigJam is a fantastic place for students to learn just that and for teachers to display just that, making connectors through shapes and tables. We can make flowcharts, diagrams, timelines, all sorts of goodies. So I'm going to practice here, and let's just pretend that my classroom has a massive problem. Yes, for middle schoolers, this is a huge problem. The problem is our class is late to lunch. My goodness, there's about to be riots in my third period going to lunch. So let's go ahead and look at, we got solution 1. You can see that connector here, which is leave early. We have solution 2, which is walk faster. I'm going to add in a third solution because I taught middle schoolers. Let's go ahead and add this in here. Let's make it fun. And I'm going to do solution number 3, teleportation. Okay, let's see how that one lands. Now, you might see this is a little bit off. I can go ahead and change this card size, shrink it down a little bit. I can bring it in right here. Also, we already have that yellow card. Let's make it blue. Boom, amazing. Now, the next thing I can do is I can actually click on every single, yes, we got dream big over there. I can click on these different lines and I can add text. Let's say that group number 1 actually came up with this idea. And then group number 2 came up with that second idea. You can also see that one of my teammates added in a possible consequence for walking too fast. So you can do some really great things as far as adding on thoughts upon thoughts, using a flowchart like this. And within a matter of seconds, oh my gosh, yeah, look at my students, probably they would actually say stuff like this. You can really quickly make conversations or discussion topics a lot more visual. Then you could pop on over to a chart. This is our tables here in FigJam. Tables are awesome. You can edit tables. You can actually multi-select different cells. You can change the colors. You can do a lot of great things here. So let's pretend like we actually came up with some solutions. We didn't try out the teleportation because kids were getting hurt with that one. But you can go ahead and you can see Alex, who's highlighting, we actually had some great success on Tuesday and Thursday, and we got to lunch on time. You can do some progress tracking by clicking on these stamps that are in here. You can look for stickers. If I were to actually click on stickers and type in check, you can see some different things that pop up in here. You can change the sizing of these. Stickers are just absolutely fantastic. As a teacher, I was constantly using stickers and constantly in struggle trying to find stickers to add on to different features. But let's go ahead and jump in right now to look at a classroom example. So here's a timeline. Please, in the chat right now, be active. How could you use flowcharts? How could you go ahead and add things in to a FigJam to make learning a little more visual for your learners? So in this example, some middle school students were working on a visual timeline for the Great Depression. They were adding connectors. They were adding dates at the top. They were adding pictures and stickers. Again, you can resize any of these. And they were adding in a couple of things that were pretty awesome just to really make this timeline pop. This is all editable as well. So if they needed to kind of move things things around, they can. And this was made in a matter of minutes with a group, and just a fantastic way to make things, especially timelines. I feel like students sometimes feel like they're floating in space when learning, when I taught history, when learning about sequence and learning about the timeline of things. Let's make it visual, let's make it active, and let's make it something that is fun and really pops. So here's an example, and please add in your examples in the chat. Would love to hear from y'all. I know you're bursting with some fantastic ideas. How could you use visual learning in your classrooms? Okay. One thing that I really, really valued as a teacher and still value today in my job here at Figma is building community. Community is key. If you don't have community in your classrooms, you don't have the students. So one thing that I really want to stress is that FigJam is a phenomenal space to build community. And there's something, again, just like really special about these fun, really engaging features. You see my teammate Alex giving some double thumbs up. We're going to go ahead and just take some Polaroid photos in here. I'm going to click on this red little icon. You're going to see that I am prompted to take a selfie. I have yet to learn the craft of talking while selfie speaking. Someone else in the chat can tell me their secrets. I can then go ahead and add in some stamps in here. Go ahead and stamp it up, make it a little bit nicer. I can go in if I want to find a sticker. Let's go ahead and find a sticker. And I'm going to actually clear the sticker section right here. I'm going to give this, let's go for a sticker set. There's a back to school sticker set. This one's amazing. Teachers love it. Let's add some stars. Boom. They're even better than the stamp ones. Amazing. So this is a really fun way for students to really just show themselves, to show their expression, to bring learning to life. Another really great feature in here, these are both widgets, is the voice memo widget. So to access that, go to more, click on back, go to widgets, and type in voice. My widgets are loading a little bit slower. You can then drag and pop that in. And one of the great things about this is it gives, as the teacher, you can give a little bit more personal feedback by adding a recording. The recordings are limited. This is perfect for me. They're limited to 30 seconds. So you're not going to go off on an entire podcast for a student to listen to. And you can then stop the recording. You can add your name in here. So let's say if I'm giving feedback to Amara, I can add that in. I can change the size of this, shrink it down. So if a student maybe doesn't, a great example of this, if a student doesn't want to add, they have something they just want to say, they can add their thoughts onto a sticky note. They can plop this in. And once they paste that onto the sticky note, wherever the sticky note goes, that voice memo goes. It's pretty nice. It's like an echo of your voice. Alrighty, so we got some fun things here, building community, adding in some things, using widgets to really make your lessons pop. And here's an example of a classroom idea. Now, I know all y'all in that chat have some way better ideas than what I'm showing you. Please add in the chat, how could you use photo booth? How could you use voice memo? How could you use these widgets to really make your lessons sing, even at a different tone than they already do? All right. So in this example, a teacher created a morning meeting activity here in FigJam where their students added pictures of how they were feeling, just a quick little expression of how they're feeling. They used the voice memo to share their goals for the week. This type of activity builds strong classroom community as all students can see one another's work and hear each other's goals. Again, please add in the chat. We would love to hear from y'all. What are some ideas? I know you were buzzing over there. I think I saw someone asking about if people or students are camera shy, what could you do? What I would do is let's go ahead and add in a sticker. Let's find the alien one. This one's great. I had a student who loved doing this. They really wanted to take pictures, but didn't want their face in there. So they would just add stickers on their face. And look at how amazing I already look. Yeah, fast forward a couple of years, I will have that same hairdo. Okay, that's a fun one. Next, we really want here at Figma, and when I was a teacher, one of the biggest values I had was that learning should be fun. We want to engage students, not just entertain them. We want to engage them through play. So here we have Bitmoji. Oh yes, we know y'all teachers love Bitmoji. I love Bitmoji. And Bitmoji, it's a plugin. It's a wonderful space for you to go ahead and add in your very own cards. Let's go ahead and there's actually a custom one of here and some of my best friends. Yes, let's add in right here. There we go. Boom. We got me and my homies right here. Yes, the glue stick. That one is really fun. His personality really sticks here. So we got some fun emojis. Those are really great. You can add in your own personalization, throw your emojis all over for your students until the point where they're annoyed with how many emojis you have. I always loved that. And we also have some really fun widgets. Again, to access the widgets, nice. We got Lauren add in some Bitmojis there. To add in the widgets, you can go in here, select widget. And yes, you saw that right. We have a Connect 4 widget in here. This one's really fun. I like to do this like the first week of school when students, let's go and start our game. Lauren and I are going to play. I talk about connection, and we actually had a Connect 4 tournament which we held in FigJam, which was really fun. I thought I was pretty good at Connect 4 until I played 7th graders, and my goodness, they just play on a different level. So again, just really fun ways to engage students, to get students interacting with one another. There's a tic-tac-toe that's also a widget. You can access that here. I'm just like clicking randomly. Let's see how it goes for me. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Lauren is blocking. Here we go. It looks like we might have ourselves a cat scale. Oh no, I think I might have won, but that's okay. Both. Well, there's that. Maybe both lost. Also, there's an Etch-a-Sketch. If you're just wanting to teach some like creative process, like, okay, let's go ahead and write our names. How can we go ahead and try something? A lot of students have never seen an Etch-a-Sketch before. Sad fact. There's rock, paper, scissors. So if you're trying to have some things where you just want students to make a decision really quick, you want to really fast, looks like, oh, Lauren won that one. You got the coin flip. This is our Figma coin. So if you're just trying to have students in a fun way, make a decision, or they're in a group and they're trying to decide on something, they just can't come to consensus, flip a coin. Also, roll some dice. This is really fun. I had some students, I'd usually have a little bit of like a 10-minute free choice Friday. I had some students create a Yahtzee game in FigJam, and it was just an absolute blast. Speaking of an absolute blast, we got washi tape. Yes, you heard that right. We got ourselves some washi tape. Washi tape, one of my favorite things. You can go over here in the dock right next to the pen, click on that section, and you got yourself the third item over, some wonderful washi tape. You're just going to left click and drag. You can bring that wherever you'd like. You can go ahead and just kind of hold it down. You can add as much washi tape as you'd like. You can also, you see that? Yep, we got some Martin Luther King Jr. here. You can add some custom washi tape. So if you're going in and you maybe are doing a history lesson, you want to add some washi tape in, you can select an image from your computer and you can make some washi tape. Maybe you're having students make connections from one point to another, or maybe you just are selfish and really want a picture of your face as washi tape. Again, that's not selfish, that's being creative. And you want to blast your students with your own Mr. or Mrs. washi tape, please go ahead and do that. Okay, so speaking of fun, let's show you how to get yourself started as well as your students. Again, I could stay, and we got Lauren over here giving me some high fives. So the high five, you can hold down the H key and boom, you can do some fun little features in here. My students love the high five. Whenever they were completing something or progressing fluently in a project, they'd always high five each other. All right. We got to get you signed up. And again, please add in the chat, how could you make learning fun? Or even share an anecdote. How did you make learning fun last year? What's something that you did, even outside of technology, that your students love? We'd love to learn from you. So please go ahead and add that in. So if this sounds like the classroom you want to have for your students to engage in this back to school season, then you are ready to start with FigJam. Educators, you can log in at figma.com and continue with Google, create an account. If you want your students, which are just, this is when you bring your students in, this is the best. If you want your students to get in the file with you, you got to talk to your IT. It is free. FigJam is entirely free. There are no hidden costs. I've been trying to find the red tape with FigJam's free offer, and it's as good as it sounds. It's free. You don't have to upgrade or anything. You get the best package. But your IT does, I want to stress this, your IT does have to turn on the free licenses in the Google Workspace. So please reach out to your IT and get that rolling. Speaking of getting rolling, you can go ahead and click on figma.com/@education. It'll bring you right here. If you want to get started, you can click on this and it will take you to and apply to get started. You can add your name, add that in here, and get your district rolling. Okay. A few other things is we got some ways for you to start creating in the file. If you are just love a blank canvas, you're one of those folks that just love staring at a piece of paper and getting it rolling, click on figma.new. You can start from scratch. You can also go to some of our templates, and you can also, wait, great question over here that I added in to prompt myself. You can add templates in directly. So I think learning should be fun. I think lesson planning should be fun too. You're going to click on templates up here in the top left. Let's say if I want to make a quick activity for my students, I can click on for the classroom. I can scroll down and boom, yes, I'm looking for this added template. I want to do a little think, pair, share. I can add that in here, and maybe I want to look for another one. Let's go back to templates. Let's go to for the classroom. And let's say I want my students to do a bubble map. Let's go and add that template in. Boom, look at this. I already have a little think, pair, share activity. I have a great space for my group to work, and I just made a lesson in like what was that, 5 seconds? So the lesson generation should be fun, should be exciting, and it shouldn't be rocket science to get your students off and rolling in a lesson that gets them engaged with one another. Speaking of engagement, we got some fun resources and goodies for you under resources and support. You can click on this link. This is FigJam Design Lab by Fried Online. This is a free online course. If you're like, you know what, this guy talked way too fast, I want to go at my own pace, click on Fried Online. There's a free course that you can go ahead and get yourself jamming. Next, we got some wonderful YouTube videos. We got some phenomenal ed tech coaches and teachers making content on the YouTubes. This is Tom Mulaney. He's got a plethora of YouTube videos on FigJam. We also have some, again, click on this community file. You can get started with some different templates already in the file here for you. You can click on these. Here's kind of a little preset. If you're a math teacher, want to do some base 10s, you can open in your own FigJam file. You can preview them. You can zoom in and out. Before committing to this file, you can look at it, which is fantastic. Again, my name is David Curran. Thank you so much. This was such a fantastic session with you all. Thank you, folks, and we'll see you later.